Pretend the camera's not there.
Okay, recording already. I see that.
Recording already. Sometimes all these things just keep it only. Keep it real. Keep it real. Hello, hello. You're tuning into. What is there? Some
Distortion,
Are you hearing
right?
some distortion?
I'm hearing some kind
Yeah.
of.
Hey. That is not usual.
Yeah, there's some kind of. But I don't think so. It's a drive distortion. It's more of like.
You are when you talk, you are fine. Your voice is fine. It's me. It's my voice. It's got a bit of distortion. Wait turn off the distortion pedal first. Put it to the clean channel. That is okay. Is it a connection thing?
Test what?
Hey,
actually got also. My one got a bit.
Yeah.
Test. It's the gain.
No, that shouldn't be. This is.
Is it a gain thing?
No. Hey. Let me just check there and see.
I'm here to test the skill level of Mr. JD. Is gain structuring. Oh, that's much better. Hello? That's much better. That's much better, yeah.
It could be that. It could be the talkback was a little noisy. Hey.
Yeah.
Okay, that means, I think the talkback channel was on, so it's picking up and it's a little bit noisy. Anyway.
That was us having a tech talk.
And that's a real moment there, man. Troubleshooting and figuring out what goes wrong.
Typically, that's the life, right, of a sound engineer.
Well,
Live show
we
and
hope to avoid that, but that's why I don't do live sound. Live sound is like, there's way too much uncontrolled stress. I am perfectly content to be here in the safety of a controlled environment where everything is predictable. Live sound, so many things can go wrong, man.
But it's so interesting to see that it's 2023 with AI and everything here. We still need an engineer for this kind of level control stuff. Don't you find it very
yes
counterintuitive?
Yes and no. I mean, I think if you ask different people, some people will disagree. Yeah. But of course, on my side, I'm of course always going to be on the side of, we need a human behind it. Even some of the newer interfaces, like I think from Audion has Evo.
Auto gain thing.
Correct. They call it smart gain or auto gain. So you you just press the button, I think you hold it, then you just test the source, so then you automatically set the gain for you. But, yes, it helps you to get to a starting point.
Yeah.
It helps you get to a good starting point, but what if something would happen in between, you see?
Yep.
Unless it's a truly intelligent thing that will know how to adapt. What if suddenly I start to talk slower and softer and all that, Then you set at that level and it's already not the right setting, you see? But you have an engineer monitoring, right? Which I don't. Sadly, I don't have any assistants here today. Then they'll know, okay, I need to bring it up when they're a little softer, I can bring it down. Of course, I can always manipulate it post but
you always commit to the
It's always better to get it right at the source Less work later down the line. I can't believe we started off with this kind of rabbit hole down, man.
Once attack, always attack you, man.
Once attack, always attack you.
Thanks for having me here, by the way.
No, thank you for coming here.
Welcome.
All right. I mean, I was just asking you, this is not your first podcast. So it's like, hopefully, well, which other podcasts you've been on?
It's more of a business, financial and business kind of stuff.
All right.
That's been my thing for the past 15 years. But yeah, thanks for having me. Maybe we just share with you a bit, share with your audience a little bit about how it all started.
We're just here to shoot the shit, man. Man. Whatever.
Thanks again. Thanks for listening, guys. So basically, I'm John. My name is John Lau. I'm more known in this industry as the guitar guy. But
L2O.
Yes. So interestingly, 3 years ago, wow, holy crap.
Okay.
2020, 3 years ago, we started this thing called L2O, short for lease to own. So the objective of this was more for the idea, the benevolent idea, of this is because that we need that kind of credit system, right? That is not the normal banking credit system. And sadly, because this goes back to like when I was like 19 years old, 18 or 19 years old. So I was teaching guitar for mahogany music that time. And I tell you, I wanted to buy my first property and it was so cheap. It was just 65,000 ringgit. It was impossible.
Right. Even back then.
Yeah, it was impossible. Even for 65,000 ringgit. It took me 2 years to get a loan. 2 years to develop that. And the guy told me, oh, you need to have this credit history and everything like that. And I worked really hard for 2 years just to get a loan. Just for 65,000 ringgit.
Yeah.
In contrast to a loan that I took about 4 months ago, I just bought a piece of land. It was 1.8 million. I got an approval, I kid you not, in 22 minutes. 22 minutes, I sent all the document. They just told me, okay, John, approve. And this is the thing, that there are many industries that have been redlined by the banks, right? So are you familiar with redlining?
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, the original context is more towards like property, right? But it also extends to other things as well.
It's anything financial, and redlining is one of the most intellectually allowed way to be a racist. Whether it's racist or is it your business or whatsoever, right? They do this redlining thing.
Yeah.
And the thing how redlining works is very simple, right? They don't tell you, oh, you're Chinese, I don't want to lend you money. Oh, you're Malay, I don't want to lend you money. They will lend to anyone. But here's the thing. They can make it more difficult for you to acquire the loan. That's for sure, right? So say, for example, redlining in the US, right? If they say, okay, this whole area, they just want, they want a certain race of people here. So if you are not that race of people, they will tell you, I'm still going to lend it to you. I'm still going to loan you the money, but I cannot give you the margin that you want, which is basically, you want 100,000, I'll give you 30,000, right? So they call it MOF, margin of financing, right? So the thing about this is, banks are doing this to a certain group of people in Malaysia. And typically, and unfortunately enough, artists, musicians, actors are all getting this, right? Given that, yes, many of them have very bad track record, but I would argue that every other industry has people with bad record, right?
Yep.
So the thing is that they redline it using your industry. And when you fill out the form, what work do you do?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. That's when things will become very, very difficult, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So I did a simple test, right? I did a simple test. I went out and asked about 50 of my friends, musicians, right? Do you have a credit card? Right? Interestingly enough, in Malaysia, there are only 17% of the people that have credit cards. 17%.
Overall population talking
Overall
about.
population,
Okay.
yeah. There are almost 30 million, only 17% has a credit card. It's a crazy small amount, a very, very small amount, right? So what happened was, I went around and asked, is it really 17%? So if I have 50 friends, there should be probably about 8 or 9 of them that has a credit card. None of them has.
Oh, okay. Not even one.
Not even one.
Okay.
Even though if they had a credit card, it's probably forfeited or whatsoever, right? So in other words, if you would come and buy a guitar, you have to buy cash.
Yeah.
Right? And that's difficult.
Yeah.
Right? So we tend to spend a lot of time, a lot of our effort trying to acquire that pool of money to buy guitars. And that's the reason why we have a tendency to buy second-hand guitars as well, because they're cheaper. Right? So what lease-to-own does is that we try to use a not so conventional method to provide loans. So instead of you giving me a 3 months bank statement, 8 months bank statement, all this kind of thing, I ask you, hey, how many mutual friends do you have with me on Facebook? Right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
See that post every day.
Yes, correct. And we try to make it affordable. Like a 5,000 ringgit guitar will cost you probably a 99 ringgit a month. You just pay in a span of 60 months.
Yeah.
Right? So we just try to make it as affordable as possible. And that's the whole beauty of it. And it's called a lease to own because we lower the barrier of entry to make it a form of rental. Right? A form of rental. But if you finish that 60 months, you know what? Just keep the guitar. But if you don't finish the 60 months, just give it back.
Yeah.
Right? So I won't, if you can't afford about, so I won't put you on secrets, I won't put you on CTOS. We musicians have it so difficult already. Right? And then we still got to go on secrets and CTOS and everything. The banks are redlining us. And then we need to go on, all this kind of blacklist and all this kind of stuff. That's horrible, bro. That's horrible. So the reason how we did this, why we did this L2O was to change that. Right? To allow an alternative credit system and an allowance for Malaysian to have better guitars. Because you see, there's all this already fake thing going around. Have you seen that? Fake guitars?
That's a whole,
that's another conversation on itself. So, and you ask around, why do you have a need to buy those guitars? Right? And
when you can own the real thing.
Yeah. Right? So that's my why. That's how we all started.
Yeah. Play authentic, man.
Yeah, play authentic. Play Gibson. If you get music, please sponsor this.
Sponsored by
Yeah. So that's how it all started.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was starting in 2020, right?
Yeah. I mean, 2020.
I also L2O with you. A few items.
Did you?
Yeah. Two guitars actually. Two guitars. One's fully paid for already. Another one is still, I think, in the process.
Right.
Yeah.
Was it beneficiary for you even as an entrepreneur, as a business owner?
I mean, it's I would argue with this lah.
Yep.
Definitely is. Because again, it would make sense. To here's the thing. Obviously with some industries and especially like the studio owner, right? Studio industry, it's a high risk, low reward business. Is like nobody does this because they want to
make money.
Make tons of money. Yeah. It's like you either have very deep financial pockets, right? Foundation wise. Yeah. We call it the Daddy Trust Fund or something like that. Or you are absolutely crazy and out of your mind, and or you
that's
love
most,
it.
That's most of the time.
And that's most of the time. The stereotypical musicians, we are just impulsive, emotional, very bad with things like that. But long story short, it's definitely a cool thing. Right. It's definitely beneficial. For me, it was because I was attracted to the guitar that was on sale. Was it? Take a wild guess.
For you, I'm pretty sure it's a Yamaha.
No prizes for guessing lah. Okay, all right. Yeah, and
it was a Yamaha.
Yeah. The two guitars are actually a Yamaha. One is a Yamaha AEX 500, which is even a model that predates the AES model.
Right.
It's like a hollow bodied guitar. And another one is it's a Japan custom Revstar.
Right.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh wow.
The one
that
I have. Because for me that was very rare. It was like, I can't find those guitars. It's very hard to find. You can't even buy them from the store. Maybe the custom one you can lah. Yeah, but it's like, okay, that's why lah. Yeah, which I think it's cool as well because maybe it for some people who really love to aspire to get their dream their dream guitar. They want to own this particular Gibson, or this Fender or various other brands. Yeah, right. Yeah, it's made it a way that
thanks for being a supporter. I appreciate it, bro.
Yeah. But I'm sure with everything, there's sometimes always a flip side to it, right? Yep. And are there any like detractors to
JD, this conversation, this conversation alone, I think I can make about a 2 days conversation worth of this.
Oh boy!
But let me make it make it as objective as possible. All right. But before that, let me just allow me to like share where this thing came from, where this whole lease-to-own thing came from. So as per today, we are almost about 5,000 leases already, right? And that's just 2 years old, right? So as per last week, we did a market share study, and we hit a double-digit market share.
Okay.
Right. So to me, I think it's something that's it's been a very big pat on my back that how this thing actually how well received it was. And when we sell guitars, we sell like 8 or 9 high-end guitars a day. Right. If you look at my Facebook, it's like so. So we know for a fact that there is a lot of demand for this, and there's a lot of recipient for this. But before we went into this, right? Before we went to this, we knew for a fact that this whole game is playing around, not guitars, right? So people say, call me the guitar guy, but in reality, it's a finance model.
Yeah.
This whole thing is a finance model, right? And the finance model goes around one very important thing, which is collection. The collection system has to be really, really airtight, right? And one of the things that I did in 2016 was to go back to school. So I wasn't very highly educated, so I went back to school. And one of the very interesting things when I went back to school was I learned that it was very, very, it's super important to know a bit of programming, all right? So I tried to do a bit of programming myself, and I failed miserably. Right, I attended at least 4 to 5 classes, Python classes, and everything, and I failed miserably. But one of the good things that I've learned when I went back to study was you can actually hire a whole bunch of people to do it for you for cheap and for very fast. All right, so I studied across this place, and there was this group of really, really smart guys, right? Really, really crazy smart guys, and we just network around and all this thing. It was in Boston, so we network around, and I found out that they knew how to make this thing. During that time, it was very new, 2016. It was this crazy word called neural network. All right, it was called neural network.
Right.
Much later, we all know it as AI. Right.
Yeah.
So what happened was I asked them, could we develop a system together to do alternative credit scoring? Right. And they said, yes, let's try it. And one of the methods that we want to use was social media verification. So, sorry, not verification, validation.
Okay.
Social media validation. So we validated whether this person is real or not. That was the first step. Secondly, we went into this thing called affinity validation. Means basically, are you a real person? Right. You claim you are. It's not like, like you have Jedediah Wong, right? We know that you're a real person. Why?
Yeah.
It's not because that you have a Facebook post. It's because that you commented a very, very sick, like say for example, you comment, like for me, right? You commented, most recently you commented about, I asked about studio with
jamming studio
with drums and everything like that. So what happened was that neural network system detected JD commented something about a jamming studio whatsoever. So they F it like a coefficient, like 0.65. So 0.65 means basically there is a 0.65% that this person, 0.65 chance, means 65% chance, this person is active within sound studio technology.
Right.
So it comes in, you copy on your UID, it's called unique ID. It will put in drums, 0.65. And what happened is it will just go on into your Facebook and look at more and more those kind of things. It will just study more those kind of things.
Okay, all right.
So what happened was then we will then check who are the affinities. Means basically who are the people that always post on your thing, check on your thing, flame your post, talk shit about you or whatsoever. And then it will come up this particular score. And this particular score is the one that shows me how in touch. How in touch JD is.
The validation.
Yes, validation in this music industry. So that was actually the first alpha model. It's not even beta. It was like first model. Then from there we went a little bit more forward, and this took like 3.5 years to develop. From there it went into how well this person can pay. Right. So again, we'll go through the same. So we engaged some social behavioral science, social science people, and say that what are the kind of things these people will most probably engage in when they're delinquents, right? Means they're like piece of shit. They don't pay their bills or whatsoever. So needless to say, we do have an account with CTOS and Secrets on us. We do check that as well. But I don't want to just use that, right? I want to use affinity marketing.
Yeah.
So that's where it all started, right? And then every person that comes into us has a scoring, and there's a kind of coefficient on it. My business partner that joined me, his name is Jiala. Jiala is Jiala.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. He's a quiet guy, but a lot of people don't know this. Jiala actually has 2 degrees. He's an astrophysicist and he's a mathematician.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So,
and he makes guitars. He makes guitars.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So all of our models are all based on his design, and he designed a whole bunch of these models that we can calculate on an extremely well-designed mannerism that this person will pay us on time or will not pay us on time, right? So we know already who are the people that won't pay us on time, and we put that into account that you won't pay me on time, all right? What do we do when that happens? Right? Do we want to make you bankrupt or so? The answer is no, because I'm very clear.
Yeah.
That's not what I'm here for, right? So before we even launch this, let's talk about. So I spent about 6 months on the business side thinking, how can I make it worthwhile for myself to continue changing the payment, and in a way that it won't give you so much pressure, right? So we call that management charges. So we actually do make money when people don't pay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and to be very honest with you, out of the 5,000 over people, more than 50% of them pay late. And it's normal. It's natural.
Okay. All
it's
right.
normal. It's natural.
It's a little disturbing, 50%.
Yeah, it's more than 50% paying late. But it's okay because, you know what, we came into it knowing that this was going to happen.
All right.
So, to answer your question, yes, it's crazy amount. It's crazy amount. Then we have to redefine again this thing called non-performing loan. And we have to define again. So even like non-performing loan, banks will call it non-performing loan. You didn't pay for 3 months, it's non-performing loan. Ours is not that simple.
Okay.
It's way more complex, right? If you don't pay within 25 days, if you don't pay within 28 days, if you don't pay within 5 days. So we have different grades of people. The lowest level of the grade, right? The lowest level of the grade are people which disappears with the guitar, right? But recently we found one level even lower.
Oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So they not only disappear.
That was a crazy story.
Yeah. That was a crazy story. And so funny. It went viral. And the newspapers actually picked it up. So they not only disappear with the guitar, but they sold, this guy got his famous brother to sell the guitars away.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's when, that's a big problem.
That big problem is an understatement.
Yeah, that was a big problem. That was more than $100,000 worth of guitars. So remember, we just before we started this conversation, we talked about AI and how human replace AI. So the AI did its job, right? So it qualified this person.
Okay.
It's okay, this guy is good. The affinity is good, which is true because his brother is famous and everyone around him is legit and he runs a legit business or whatsoever. But what happened was the AI did not put in one simple aspect that we still try to program the AI to do. So is when people are desperate, they do what they need to, right? And he was desperate.
Yeah.
Right. So that's why he just needed cash and he needed fast cash. So when he sold the guitar, he sold it for such a cheap price. It was like a 27,000 ringgit Gibson Les Paul custom and he sold it for 3,000 ringgit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And to me, it was like, oh my God, that's...
But, I mean, okay.
You know, he just wanted the quick cash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was desperate, but...
Yeah.
But then how, I mean, what kind of mental gymnastics you have to go through to see that would actually work out in the end.
Because he's desperate for that moment.
Okay.
You do what you need to do. Right? Because like for us, people think like, oh man, it's like 6% interest. Fuck no, you know. Am I allowed to swear on this?
Oh yeah. Absolutely, man.
So and then you're like, no, this 6% is too much per year. Like for me, I just came from a bank. I just came from UOB before I came here. And all this was because they told me that if my housing has a MLTA, they will charge me 0.26% less. And I went balls crazy on them, and I thought, what? That's too high. 0.24, you know? And it's not even 1%. It's less than like 0.5%.
Yeah.
But it to me, this means a lot, right? But to that particular guy, that he's willing to pay up to 10 times more because he was desperate at that point. So that's one thing that we don't know. How to like, I'm just trying to solve that. You know? Because when you're desperate, you're getting chased out of your house.
But that's, okay. That's such a, but that must lay, you know, across the whole graph of things, such an outlier thing, right?
Yeah.
How are you supposed to foresee that? Is there a way to?
Yeah, there is. So this whole thing is all a numbers game. So when we first ran this whole L2O model, I think a lot of people will probably know it was fucking expensive. If you're looking at this in a retail perspective, it's really, really expensive. So as we go along the time now, things start to even out. We had more data, and also one of the good things is we managed to get an insurance company to underwrite all this risk, right? And therefore it becomes much cheaper. So at the end of the day, it's just a numbers game.
Yep.
That's fine. Out of 5,000 people, 17% decide to like just fuck out and disappear. That's fine, because the insurance companies are okay with that. But if it becomes 500 people, that's when the insurance company, okay, John, I'm going to increase your premium. Right. So at the end of the day,
your risk is
correct. So at the end of the day, it's just for me to make sure that we don't reach that 10% ABL, and that's where the business part. We started to develop more AI systems. Like say, for example, we have one system. It's an imagery system that captures keywords and images of guitar. So every single guitar that we post, there is Google Vision that checks in all this, the color, the guitar, the name, and all this kind of thing. And then it would then go and haunt Marketplace, Carousel, groups, and everything, and then say that, hey, there is a 0.23% that this is owned by
that guitar.
Yeah. And then it checks the name of the person posting it. It doesn't sound like his name, but it could be. So one of our guys will then just go and take a look. And then data don't lie.
Yeah, okay.
50% of the time, it's not that these guys want to sell. 50% of the time, they think that it's okay to do it. Right? And it does happen. I mean, at the end of the day, as I said, it's a numbers game. As long as it keeps to like less than 1%, I think it's fine. It's good.
Okay, right, yeah.
So that's the lease to own part of the business.
That's a story. I mean, with everything, there's always going to be some sort of a negative side and risk, right? To everything lah.
Of course.
Not everything is perfect and all peachy and shiny and everything. Oh man, but again lah, that story again, folks, you can go and I don't know lah. Nowadays, the attention span is very, very short. Even though it was only 3 months ago, 3-4 months ago, right? It was very, very recent.
Yeah, it was very recent.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was 3 months ago.
People have short memories, man. Sometimes they'll forget.
Interestingly enough, it happens about 12 to 15 times a year. These things they happen 12 to 15 times a year. Yeah. But the insurance company, we just need to show the insurance company that we're doing something, right? If not, they will just increase our premium. So that guy that went viral, we were forced to do it.
Yeah.
We were forced to do it because, I mean, if I go and put down everybody and I go and slap them about it, I'll lose business. No one wants to release the own from us, But this guy was big. It was 100 over grand.
Yeah.
I had no choice. But it always happens. Right. But as I said, it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
It's a numbers game. We just got to make sure it doesn't go more than that amount.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It's something lah. I mean, you're in any kind of business also, you got to face.
Like yourself, recording finish, mastering bang, minggu depan bayar bang. And next thing you know, oh my God, that's 7 years ago.
Right, yeah. I really don't. Yeah, exactly. I know.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
I know it happens as well.
And you know the worst thing is? The worst thing is, it is extremely painful, especially you knew this guy. And the reason why you gave him that credit was because that you felt that he was trustworthy. Right? Same to this guy that he leased about 100 over 1,000 of items.
Yep.
The problem with this whole thing is, I mean, if he was suspicious since day one, the system would have just flagged him and it wouldn't have went through.
Yeah.
But the problem was that guy was a friend.
Yeah.
It was a friend. And I'm very sure that, when you give someone credit or some kind of trust, it starts from there. It's a friend.
Yeah.
And that's where things get a bit painful, And which comes to the very interesting thing that I would like to highlight also. In the music industry, this happens so often.
Yeah.
Also often, right? I'm sure you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, across the whole scope, man. Yeah. There's
Right?
always some story from somebody, this guy wasn't paid or this guy then paid for
But
this.
you see, JD, the thing that I'm really, really upset and very sad about is this. This thing happens all the time on an hourly basis in finance industry, right? Hourly basis, because most of the people that really make an obscene amount of money by going out and fuck you over. That's how things are done there, right? In the finance side. I mean, you watch all this Wolf of Wall Street, The Big Short and everything. It's about someone screwing someone over.
Yeah.
Over something, right? And that's normal because there's a lot of money there. But we are not in here for money. We're in here just to survive.
Absolutely. And most musicians are there because they want to create music or they want to play music. Yeah, that's all they want.
Yeah.
I mean,
And our heart when we started all this, I'm very sure now I just want to make money, Just when I started this whole thing when I was 17 years old, I wanted to play guitar for the rest of my life. Until I found out how sucky guitarist I am.
No.
But that's the painful part about it. So, it's like yourself, I'm very sure you're in this industry and you went through this like so many times.
Oh, well, fortunately not so many. Like you, it is a numbers game. Fortunately, we kept it low. And there's always should be practices put into place.
What kind of practice do you
I mean, the normal standard is usually, everything is usually COD one.
Right.
Yeah, it's usually that. Although there's sometimes we may bend, we be flexible. Of course. And again,
but you have been very flexible.
Especially if someone who is notable, or famous, or well known.
Yeah.
I'm talking about people who are datos and also have not paid for you know who you are if you're watching this. Okay, no one mentioned any names. Yeah. But and I don't know, I used to always joke, right, that amongst all my clients and the clientele, the people I trust most, right, are going to be the kids with the bands that come in with the torn jeans and the cheap slippers and the shirts and that.
Okay.
You come with me with your bling and your suit and your tie, the more untrustworthy you are.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, the more likely they are to screw you over.
Wow.
Yeah. And it has happened,
many times.
Right? Well, luckily not that many, yeah. So, I would rather trust, the guy on the street rather than someone who comes in a suit and tie to me. At least that's my experience, right. Of course, I can't say for anyone else. Yeah.
I had this same conversation with an industry veteran. I consider him as a mentor of mine because recently we went into guitar rentals, as in like for concerts. Slowly going into these kind of things. And his name is Peter Frankfurt.
Of course,
everyone knows him.
Everyone knows Pete.
Yeah.
Hi Pete, shout out to you.
Yeah, man,
You're supposed to come on my podcast or so. After your vacation, I'll call you.
You need to entice him with bak kut teh or alcohol or something like that.
Okay. Well, I go wine bars. TTDI, man, come on. We're just next door.
So it was a funny thing because when we had this conversation, we were laughing about this. I went and looked because I had my same email that I kept since I was a kid. So all of my, I'm still using the same email. And there was one time I was doing some technical advisory for this place called The Bee.
Right.
And this was during the old owner. It's not Raul's time. It was this guy called Adrian.
Yeah.
So they had a lot of bands coming in, and they needed a lot of backline stuff, right? And I helped them to like organize. Okay, these are the backlines that we need, and the person that we normally ran from, the guy that has everything, is always Peter, right?
Yep.
It's always Peter. He has everything.
Yeah.
All right. So, that organization was a bit, it was email here, email there, and everything like that. We have 40, 50 emails talking on one thing, and Peter will not reply. A single one of them, right? The only time he'll reply is 3 days before an event. Is it confirmed? Yes. Okay. Then after that,
invoice?
no invoice. Invoice came early already. It was like,
deposit?
Guys, I want 50%. I want 50% full payment before. If not, it's okay. I can cancel it. I show him that, and that was like at least 10 years ago or something like that. And then the next day he was like, just a reminder, payment, or it's okay, I can cancel it. It was quite mean, It was quite mean. And when I first read it at the time, I was like, wow, this guy is quite mean, and all. But what happened was, he told me that if you want to sustain in this business, there are things people will always try to push.
Yeah.
Or push from like, okay, from 50%, I pay you 50% next week. Then after that, eventually, it's just not motivational for not motivating for them to make the payment, right? So there's one thing I learned from him is that we have to make sure that when a payment is made, it has to be motivating for this person. But if the person loses that motivation, let's say for yourself, you pass them the master already.
Yeah.
There's nothing that you're holding back.
Yep.
You're not going to get the payment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
So when Peter said that at the time, I didn't believe him. I was like, nah, I live on credit anyway, So I've been doing all this thing on credit anyway. Let's just try this. And let's just say in the span of 3 months, I immediately saw it happening. Right? Festivals got cancelled, and all this kind of thing. And this festival, after like some stupid band went on out of there, start kissing another guy. And
what happens? You sustain the loss, lah.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. But you see, not many people are like Ben, the guys at Good Vibe Festival that went and pay all the vendors. Right? Not everyone does that. So you will be the victim if it's not motivation. It's not motivating for them to do it. Right? So I feel that when it comes to collecting payment, right, we have to decide whether the moment we pass something to someone, will they still be motivated to make that payment? If not, don't bring out the demon in them. Right? So that's something that I've learned really
important
really
lesson. It's something I have to remind myself over and over again. Okay, all right. So it's we always say okay lah, no more Mr. Nice Guy lah. But then after a while, we're like we're like ayo,
okay lah, help you lah. But that's the funny part of this whole industry. We want to help everyone.
Yeah.
I always say that, when people in the music industry, especially in our industry we're in, we're all good guys.
Yeah, everyone I believe has good intentions.
Yeah.
But
They are good guys, because you see, even though my customers that run away, I'm going to tell you something. I know all of them. They are great guys. They're good guys. They have no malicious intent. There are people with malicious intent. Like say for example, because we not only do lease to own for guitars, we do lease to own for cameras, for even properties and cars and all this. Especially in the car industry, people out there has malicious intent.
Okay,
They're there to fuck you over, right? So they just lease a car for me, and the next day I found the tracker in the middle of the Malacca Straits, right? So that's that. But there is not a single person in the music industry that does this. And I'm very happy about that. Right? So I feel that, when we do this whole business thing, we should go towards the way of like, we are all great friends. We are good friends. Just now before we started, I asked you about some old friends.
We chatted beforehand.
And they're really, you and I both agree that all these people that we talk about are nice guys.
Yeah.
They're great guys, nice guys.
You sit down with them, you have a tete with them.
And we are all nice, good guys, right? So the lesson that I learned is, don't let money be the reason this good relationship stops.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So in other words, listen to what Uncle Peter say. Cash dulu.
Bayar dulu.
Bayar dulu. Money first. Everything else, friend is friend. The rest pay. Not the rest. Friend is friend.
Yeah.
Everyone pay
But
first.
Absolutely. Again, it's not being mean. It's not being personal. Not trying to be hurtful or emotional. It's just business.
It's just business.
Yeah.
Man.
It's just business. Exactly. And it's a good point. It's a really, really good story. It's something that I think hopefully musicians will take it to heart.
Musicians.
And it's something
please.
that
Don't go, because I'm very sure you go on your Facebook and see this fella never pay. Do you know last time
paid for the show or blah blah this kind of thing? Yeah.
Do you know last time there was this Facebook group of events company that blacklisted don't pay?
Yes, I know. I was in that group.
You was in there.
Yeah. It's actually Peter put that group up, right? Yeah.
Actually, if you ask me, it was a good group.
Yeah.
It was a good group.
It was
a good group, right? And so you see that I feel that if there's one thing that we the listeners would bring back today, it will be like, hey, you guys need to understand that in this music industry, right? Especially in this industry that we're in, we are giving a service, and it's not something that we can take back, right? Compared to my guitars, you take back 1-2 months, okay lah, never mind, I can afford, just give me back, I'm fine. But after you do a performance, you're done with the performance, right? How are you going to take it back?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's the importance of collecting the money up front, especially in this industry. And I feel, especially when I scroll down my Facebook posts and everything, not mine, people that are complaining and bitching, every time I look at it, can this problem be solved? Yes. It's always solvable with money up front, discussion of money up front, because I'm quite sure you see people are bitching like, my guitars are 5,000 ringgit, my pedal is 10,000 ringgit, my gig is 300 ringgit.
It's that same post which they copy and pasted from somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's from Joey BBR.
That same story.
From that guy. And my input is this. One guy paying you 300, and if you know that it's 300 and you don't want to take it, just don't take it. Unless the problem is everyone else is paying you 300. Right? I don't think so, because I just went and asked a friend of mine which just plays in a Chinese club. He told me it's 500 ringgit one-man show. So 300 ringgit, maybe it's just this particular person. But discuss. Interesting enough, when I talk to a lot of techs, right, I ask them, hey, how much this guy pay you for this technician? I'm not sure. We'll get at the end of the month.
Wow, okay.
Right?
Yeah, it was a not sure thing.
Yeah. And then after that, at the end of the month, you expect maybe 300 or 400 or 700 from the last show, and he tells you, I'm sorry, bro, I need to get 100 ringgit. You're going to be angry. And then you come out of Facebook post, and then you're going to bitch about your friends all here and there.
Okay, yeah. I mean, which could have been so easily avoided by having that conversation at the start.
So I think that one of the things that I want to come here, and one of the things that I was very motivated to come for this podcast was financial literacy.
Yep.
Right. So I'm a financial guy, right? And one of the things that I really want to share with, especially Malaysian friends, my Malaysian musician friends, right? You like it or not, this is a business. You can tell me that you do it for passion or whatsoever, right? But the fucking Grab ride to the venue, Grab's not going to give you exposure. It's not going to give you whatsoever. It's going to cost 38 ringgit. It's going to cost 30 ringgit. It's going to come out from someone. You see? So why do you think that it's okay to do this just for the passion? You still need some aspect of finance element inside, right? So I always ask like my staffs, a lot of them want to have bands and all this kind of thing. I ask them the first question, where is the money? Right? Where is the money? Is it in performance? Is it in product endorsement? Is it making you famous and all this thing? And 99.99% of the time,
they have no answer.
They have no answer. They have no answer.
Yep.
Right? So I like it when someone has a very, very clear goal that I'm going to do this, right? I'm not going to make money from records. I'm not going to make money from all this. I'm doing this for fun, right? That's good. Anything that happens after that, inshallah, that's good for you, right? Anything that happens after that, you are well aware that it's going to cost you this amount of time. So please, if that's the case, don't quit your day job, right? A lot of them, they used to, I want to spend time on music and everything. And then after that, they were like, okay, I'll spend 100% of my time on music. And then what happened is they go out look for gigs and shows. The problem with that is when the gigs and shows do not meet the financial responsibility level of his requirement, he then becomes angry, frustrated. Yep. You and I both know the amount of people that came into this industry and left because they were just so frustrated, right?
Yep.
So I believe, I could be wrong. You can tell me if I'm understanding this wrongly. Music is not the product. It's just a vessel.
It's a vehicle.
Yeah. You are the product, right? The person performing this is the product. But this person performing this particular thing has to have the business acumen to sell his product. Whether is it music, his face, maybe he's good looking, You have a different direction. The music is music or something that people enjoys. It should not be that particular thing that makes you rich or pays your bills.
Yep.
Right? But the thing is that you are the one that is supposed to pay the bill, not your music.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to be responsible over what your music does for you. A lot of people think, I'm just going to do music and it's going to take care of me, it's going to pay my bills and all that kind of thing. But it doesn't. You have to go and get your name out there. You got to get people to pay you for shows.
Yeah, it's the putting the cart behind the horse kind of a thing. You can't put it that way. It's
exactly
that is used as your vehicle.
Yes, correct.
As the platform to help you to move forward. It's not the thing that.
But this means that you need to have good financial acumen, right? So say for simple financial acumen like this, if one show pays you 180 ringgit, 180 ringgit, one show just pays you 100 ringgit, can you take it or not? Answer is fuck no lah, because your rental is 1,500 ringgit. You need to go and play for 10 days without eating, without sleeping whatsoever. You need to play for 10 days so that you can pay a rental. It doesn't make sense. But what if they pay 150 ringgit? They give you free accommodation. They give you including food.
And maybe you can consider it.
Right?
And maybe can.
And it's 20 days contract a month. That sounds better
than 180 and with no benefits, no perks, nothing.
Or 500 ringgit per show, but give you one show a month.
Yeah.
Is it? You get what I'm trying to say?
Yep.
It sounds like shit. 180 ringgit sounds like shit. Right? But you need to be able to relay this to your employer as well or to your business. But the thing is that, and then for 180 days, 180 ringgit, but I need you to pay for 1.5 hours. All right. Other than that, you're going to do a gig and show. Hey, that's another form of interest that I can exploit on. So financial literacy is especially, here's the thing. That's the oxymoronic of this whole situation. Everyone say, music, and not financial. I'm sorry, guys, but you have to be even more financial literate in this industry because we have no framework.
Yeah.
If you're in a banking line, the framework is there.
Yeah, it's clear.
It's clear, right? You do this, you become a assistant manager, and then you go into treasury. You're gonna do into that. Then we'll give you 18 months bonus the moment you hit 5.6 million.
Correct.
You get all this. All the framework is there. So if you ask me, do you really need financial literacy in our industry? Fuck yes. You need so much more. Especially in this industry, because you know why? There's no framework. There is no one that is successful enough that comes out and say, hey, this is how things are done for the past 100 years and 50 years. You just follow this and you're fine. Right?
Yeah. That doesn't exist.
That doesn't exist, especially in that. So it's even more important for us to be financially literate.
Yep.
Right? So that's one of the things that I really want to share, and I want people to, hey, go out. If you wonder where to start, right? Harvard X, great place. It's a great place for you. It's online based. Anyone can join.
Right.
Harvard X. Anyone can join. Stick out something from there. All right. Take out actually not really. I saw this master class. You don't even need to do that. I saw this master class by Metallica.
Oh yeah, that's been going around.
Yeah,
I've seen it. Yeah.
Have you watched it?
I'm not, but I've seen the ad like how to be a band
and how to make money from a band. It was quite epic. when I first heard it, we all hear the story. We had this garage band, we started and then we play show for $50 and all this kind of thing. But more importantly, what happened, right? I think Lars said this, that it was important for them to know when they need to stop paying for $50.
Yeah.
So at what point you need to stop? So I had this very interesting conversation with Man Kidal, a very famous guitarist in Malaysia. He said that he made more money playing funfair than he played for big shows. But he need to know when to stop. Right? Even today, he told me, even today, you know John, he's told me bahasa lah. He said, you tahu mah, funfair dulu. Pesta. Semua buat duit.
Yeah.
But he need to know when to stop. Right? So I think that that's also another a very important financial literacy.
Yeah, that's
when are you going to stop playing pubs? Right? Even though it pays your bills. Right? So these are things that I feel that we should come out and discuss more.
Yeah.
We as guitarists, musicians, you know, when do we start financing our own album? You know,
yeah.
Things are not the same as it was 30 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Let alone 10 years ago.
Yeah,
right?
You're right. So 30 years ago, there was a record label. Now, there is.
Yeah.
But
their role and their function
is so different. It's so different.
Yeah.
So, you see, the world is so interesting today. We no longer, like say for example, 30 years ago, we as individuals couldn't do things what company does. But today we can.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Today we can. Like Billie Eilish, right? I don't know how real is this. Maybe you can tell me how real it is. She said she won that Grammy winning award, Grammy winning song on that MacBook Air. You know?
Okay.
She did that on a MacBook Air. 30 years ago, you and I both know it's impossible.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? But today, what do you think?
Go ahead first. You finish first.
Today she says that, hey, it's actually doable. And whether is it real or not, it's very inspiring.
Yes. I agree with you. It is. It is. That story, right? The angle on, I would say it's more, not, I don't think she said it. It's more like the media.
The media, right?
You know, after obviously when the album won seven Grammys, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, you know, news story, the media, they approach it on this angle that Billie Eilish and Phineas made this Grammy Award-winning, groundbreaking album right from their bedroom, you know, with only a cheap microphone and a laptop and an audio interface.
Right.
Well, a lot of people, and they always skim the fact that it was actually mixed by an engineer on an SSL. Everyone, and this is truth because there's an article that you can cite on Sound on Sound magazine. But anyway, but it's fine. It's true that they did write, they created the song and everything, but in the end, it still did go through the hands of a professional, to sort of, you know, mix it together. But again, it started with a great, amazing songs, and to start with, with that.
You see, let's very good conversation. Let's have this same exact conversation 30 years ago. Would this have been possible? Could you write this, do this thing in your home?
From a technological standpoint, no, it would have been very, very, very hard.
Right.
Yeah. It would have been very, very hard.
But creativity, of course, you have to. It came from there. But technological standpoint, you can do that, really, right?
No, it's very hard. You still need to, you know, I mean, if you say 30 years ago, the only accessible in terms of price-wise would be things like Porter Studio, you know, which
the
is...
Tascam.
Yeah, you know, which is not great audio quality.
Right.
You know, it's, you know, definitely not going to give you the audio quality that's good enough to get you out on mainstream lah.
Right.
Right. But that's a whole rabbit hole you could dive into, man. You know, I would argue, I mean, there's so many things, you know, we could do this as a big music conference and do a forum on this. You should do a whole workshop and we do, you know, financial literacy for musicians. You should do a workshop on that. Yeah.
But wait, back to my point, what I'm trying to say. Okay, so you see, 30 years ago, it was so difficult to do something like this, but now it's still possible. And you know what? I spoke to this guy called Rizal Khan. Very interesting guy. He's a Malaysian guitarist, and he does a bit of producing here and there. So Rizal, I mean, I'm always very intrigued with how he does things. And he's obviously not in the music business. He just does this for fun.
Okay.
But if you go and look at Rizal's his songs that he made, it's crazy musicians on there. You're talking about the guy from Under Oath or something like that. It was playing for him. I don't quote me on this, but you were all big time guys. And the guy that did the mastering was the guy that did it for Nirvana, right? And he told me, John, you'll be surprised the kind of work people are willing to do for $500, right? And you think about it again, 30 years ago, how would this be possible? How do you think it's possible to get Nirvana's mastering engineer to master your track, right? And I mean, given that, yeah, you can get it done, same quality kind of work in Malaysia whatsoever, but that's fun. And there's so much bragging power in that. It's like, yeah, the guy did it for Nirvana, did it for me. And 30 years ago, it's not possible. So today, I feel that we are in a position, especially in the music industry, to do so much more that we could not do 30 years ago. Right? So I'm just reflecting on what's always been the complaint in the industry. Like, not enough money, not enough this, not enough that. I would beg to differ. I would say that times like now, there's always opportunity everywhere. Right? And now is where you get so much opportunity. People always say that, last time they always tell me, oh, you know, it's either I become a full-time musician or I cari makan for my family, you know. I always tell people this. The day that Grab or Uber came into Malaysia, you have effectively lost all excuses that you just gave to me. All you need is a car, you can drive, and you can make 6,000. I have pay slips.
Yep.
I have pay slips because that's my business, right? I have pay slips for Foodpanda, Grab drivers. They are stupid Grab drivers and they're really hardworking ones. I'm kidding you not. Foodpanda, I saw before, 8,000 ringgit. And this guy's been doing 8,000 ringgit just motorbike, right? For 6-7 months. So he's hardworking lah, right? That's one thing. But you see, you can do that. You can, if you really, really want to do your music, Foodpanda or whatsoever, and then during the day, go and do your music. There's no longer an opportunity for you to give excuse anymore, right? Last time, maybe you know, I'm going to be guitar teacher. I don't like teaching kids. Okay, fine. But now you no longer have that. So we are in a position today that we can really go all out, right? But don't confuse. Don't be confused that what brings you money might not be the thing that you think is going to give you direct money to pay your rent, especially initially, right? You're not going to get, I don't know, I heard it's like 150,000 ringgit for one show for a famous band in Malaysia. I heard it's about 150,000.
That has to be like A
grade,
A list, you know,
A list, like Hujan or something like that. I think that to reach there are a lot of dues to be paid. But before you pay that dues, there are a lot of bills that have to be paid to reach there also. So, you know, I think that we have to go and figure that out first. Before we want to talk about the 150,000 ringgit show, you know. And I think as musicians, we really, really should consider that the basic framework. How to pay the bills, right? And don't do stupid. Don't get yourself stupid loans, right? I call it loan jahat. That has absolutely no benefit to your credit history. All right. Imagine if you pay late one time, they give a -1, -2. You don't pay 3 times, they blacklist you, and you're done. You're blacklisted. The next thing you know, they're going to repo it back. They're going to they repo the thing back, and they're still going to put you on your secrets. Right? I'm very sure you heard of all these loans, all these weird loans everywhere. Right?
Yeah.
So those are what I call loan jahat. Don't get into this. And you know what? These people target musicians.
Yeah.
These people target musicians, and it's dangerous. You have to understand that these are all very dangerous things. Get away from, you know, get away from all this scheme cepat kaya.
Oh,
right. Of course, get away from scheme cepat kaya. Spend a little bit more time, you know, reading financial books or whatsoever. Look me up for teh tarik. My advice is free. Right. I'm happy to share it more. You know, all this financial literacy stuff. Like, I am very close with the guitar tech community, the people that's like into guitar techs. And Timothy, one of this guy, he used to be a bassist, and he's now based in KK. He comes to KL two times a year to learn new skill sets.
Yeah.
Right? And every time when they come for new skill sets, they learn under our teaching. I will tell, okay, skill set you learn with Jala and everyone, right? For me, it's financial literacy.
Yeah.
How do you sell your shit, right?
Yeah.
So we have this most craziest way how to sell our guitar services. Because you see, last time, this guitar tech thing is not new. You know, Tom has been doing it for a long time. Gigi has been doing it for a long time, a very, very long time. But how do you make money out of it, right? How do you really make money? Not make ends meet, you know, make money out of it. So there are different methodologies, different financial wisdoms that you want to have. Backline rental, right? Peter's been around for a long time. Everyone's been around, but how do you make money out of it? Because you know what? Every single dollar that you make, you're going to buy the next DW drum that's going to come out, right?
Yeah.
The damn drum is not from 15,000 now. I heard it's what, 48,000 ringgit. They're not getting any cheaper. When does it stop? When do you stop making money? So you need a set of metrics, a set of financially, a set of guidelines. And how do you make that guidelines requires financial literacy.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm here again, being a naggy old man, trying to tell everyone, you really need to understand financial literacy, especially in our industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'll stop nagging. Because
that was really good, man. Yeah.
Trust me, because you know what? I am on the collection side. I am in the business of the collection of from musicians.
And if you can spread this message and then teach people about this, you also have less headache on the end.
Yes.
Everybody's happy.
Yes.
You know, everybody gets their dream guitar. Everybody gets their one. Nobody gets upset. No one gets hurt.
I get paid on time.
Yeah, you get paid on time. Yeah. No relationships get broken.
Yeah.
It was really good, man. I mean,
thank you.
It's great talk, right? It's
thank you.
Really, I think people will find this really, really beneficial. And we're only just skimming the surface of this, man. Just skimming the surface. I wanted to touch a little bit, but maybe you can always save it for another episode. You know, what are the new things that are in store? You know, I want to touch. Maybe you can touch a little bit about some of the guitars.
Yeah. So we started making our own guitars.
Yeah,
GL guitars. We started making them. So again, one of the very important things that we always have in our mind is value. What kind of value do we want to bring for our users, our consumers? You see. And I always tell my partners, my stakeholders this, in this world, there's only two kinds of business, finance or logistics. There's only two businesses. Everything else is called commodity. Right? If you go to Harvard, this is what you're going to learn. They're going to tell you this. Right? Everything else is commodity. So all my businesses have to have one of these two elements. When we build GL guitars, we build it not from a perspective of like, we start drawing, take this piece of paper, start drawing, this is how I want my guitar to look like. I want to do this. No. We started off from supply chain. How are we going to get all these things here cheap? What are the problems people are facing and all those kind of things? And one of the things that we found was a very, very interesting thing that high-end guitars, we're talking about James Tyler, 30,000 ringgit guitars. Why are they 30,000? Why is a Squire 800, 700? They look the same. They probably use even the same wood. The material to make it is the same. But the maker to make that material is different, and there's always an upcharge there. So we talk about all these supply chains and how can we use fundamental principles to go against this. And this is not new. Elon Musk has been talking about this, about SpaceX, how he did his own rockets, for like 5% of the cost of what NASA has been paying for. And we use that fundamental principle towards all our supply chain. So we got companies, a famous company is Goto and all this, to specially make bridges for us, right? And they're expensive bridge. If you buy them retail, you're talking about 800, 700, 900 ringgit just for a bridge. But how do we manage to make it cheap? And when we make GL guitars, we wanted to make high-end guitars cheap and affordable, right? And of course, needless to say, most of the GL guitars will come with a financial plan as well, which is the lease to own.
Oh, okay.
Right?
That's good.
It will soon be there. So currently, at the time being now, we are having a few guitars being sent around the world. Currently, we have 5 that just got back from a world tour. So we gave it to a bunch of musicians. a Portugal musician, a Swedish guy, and they travel the club scene around the world, and 2 Philippine guys. They travel around the world. And what we wanted to do is wanted to see how our necks, our guitar neck can tahan.
In a different climate.
Different climate, you know. So the moment it comes back, so we just got them all back last week. We tested all the necks, and so far I'm very happy to say that we are 100% sure that our necks will tahan all this climate, crazy climate. The dryness in the Nevada desert.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So you have that, and then you have humid places.
KL and all those things. So it worked.
Cool.
And now we are very certain of the build of it. So then we go towards, a lot of people, they build guitar for tone. I'm not there yet. I'm just building there for whether it works or not, you know, because I feel that if it sounds really, really nice, but you can't travel with it, it's no use.
Yeah.
Right? So I started from there. So now currently we're putting in the hands on a lot of guitarists, famous guys. I started about a year ago with the local musicians. So now we're starting to put in the hands of international artists. The names I will slowly review more and more. But at the time being now, we are ready to go full steam ahead.
Yep.
Right? So I launched the first guitar on January 1st this year.
Yeah.
Yeah. So by the end of this year, we will be starting our full-on production line already.
That's very cool.
Yeah. So that's one. We are of course going to sell them for our lease-to-own a model as well. And I want to make it very affordable. Very affordable. Like you're talking about, I don't know, 100 ringgit a month kind of stuff. Right? So that's my goal. Make it affordable. And we are not only going to offer it to Malaysians, so we're offering this to people around the world.
Yeah, definitely, man. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It needs to international, right?
Yeah. So this is going to be one of those things that we're going to exploit on a financial perspective. I just still need to work out some things with the insurance company because when it comes to worldwide sales, they'll be like, how are you going to get back a guitar in US? You know? And we're like, I haven't figured it out yet. So yeah, that's something that we are looking really, really forward to.
Yeah, and there's things that are over the horizon there for you. Yeah. And so, very cool, I must say, you know, very cool guitars. I, always follow updates from you, Tiala, or some of the other stuff where there's still all the crazy paint work and the job work and all your custom made. Even your pickups all that, we all wind them yourselves, right?
No, we don't wind them ourselves. We got someone to wind it for us. Because it requires a very different set of skills.
But your specifications.
Yes, they're all our specification. They're all not normal, by the way. They're quite crazy. The designs are quite crazy. It's because that all this thing is to answer problems that were given to us for the past, 15, 16, 20 years already. Like for example, you play in live shows. Right? You play in live shows. Once a light goes on, there's this thing, they'll start to happen, right? You probably don't hear it on a live setting, but if you do a live recording, you will start hearing it. So on our end here, we decided to let's solve this problem once and for all, right? So I bought a whole bunch of lights. I mean, we are a guitar factory. We bought a whole bunch of concert lights. Moving headlights, city colors, bar cans and everything. And we just put a guitar there on the spectrograph and we turn on all the lights running on the same phase. And we found out, hey, the pickups are actually picking up only a certain type of frequency. What if you can phase that out? What if you cancel that out? And we found out we're just introducing this thing called dummy coil inside. Solves 100% of this problem. Yeah. Right? So this is not me. This is Jiala. He's the crazy tech guy. He's the crazy science guy behind this. I'm just selling shit, But yeah, it's something that we are going to look forward to because it's a very unique kind of pickup. All right. And I'm using 100% Malaysian wood.
Very, very cool. Yeah.
And the interesting thing about this is, like James Tyler uses this wood called Mami Wo, MAMY. Okay. WOO, and we were like, wow. What wood is that? So Mami Wo actually shorts for Malaysia Mysterious Wood. And he sells the damn fucking thing for 30,000.
Okay, yeah.
Right? And then here we are telling, kayu apa ni? And it turns out to be just kayu jelutong. And when we found out about it, we were like,
not mysterious anymore.
Yeah, but for the Westerners, it's quite mysterious because they can't get anywhere. But here's the very interesting thing about jelutong. It's very resonant and it's super lightweight.
Okay. It's interesting.
Yeah. So our latest guitar, we managed to get full body no hollow anything,
Mm-hmm.
3.15 kg. That's
For
30% lighter than a Fender Strat.
Okay, for frame of reference lah. Yeah, similar body size and shape.
A
and
Fender
everything.
Fender Strat, 3.6, 3.8.
That's an older body.
Older body, exactly same specs as ours. Maybe use a rosewood or something like that. 3.7, 3.8. You can't run away from that, right?
Okay.
So now we manage to hit 3.19 without any form of chambering, right? So
I see.
Malaysian wood, especially in Southeast Asia, especially when we're in the equator, right? Our wood are very, very dense, and we have a huge variety of woods that we can use. So we spend a lot of time studying into all this like modulus of elasticity for necks and all this kind of thing. It's a slightly more technical approach, and we realized that there are a lot of wood here which are great for musical instruments. So this is something that we're going to develop for the next couple of years, not just guitars, musical instrument that requires wood and all that kind of thing.
Right.
So we're going to spend a bit more time. There's one guy called Jeffrey Yong.
Oh, yes, of course, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey has been is one of the pioneers of using Malaysian wood.
Right. JM, yeah.
Yeah, he uses rambutan, mango, durian for acoustic guitars, and he won awards.
Yes,
around the world.
yeah.
So that's like hey, there's something going on here.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's something that we'll be looking forward to.
Very, very cool, man. Hopefully the next time round, we'll get to talk a little bit more about the guitars and maybe explore a little bit more down that lane.
Let's do that.
We're
I'll send one to you first.
That would be super cool, man. I'll be glad to to do a video.
Awesome. Okay, you got it done. I'm gonna do it shortly.
All right. So let's tell people, man. How do people reach you? Social media, stuff like that. Website. Yeah.
Just
personal or company.
I'm everywhere around the internet lah. Just put my name. We spend a lot of money on search engines and SEOs.
Just look for John Lau Guitars.
You just put John Lau Guitars all around the world. You can find it. I think even if you put guitar rental, my number is the first that's going to come out. Right. So I don't think so. You have a problem finding me lah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Any kind of search engine, Facebook, Instagram, everything.
Cool.
All that.
Yep. I'll leave all the details lah. It'll be in the description and all that.
Sure.
Yeah, and all that.
Yeah.
Well, thanks again, man. This has been really cool talk.
Holy
I think
shit.
people will find it super interesting.
I thought we were going to do 45 minutes. It's 1 hour and 45 minutes.
Oh, yeah. One. But no problem, man. Yeah,
right.
we could go as long as we want, but you gotta go.
Yes.
Yeah,
Thank you.
We all
Thanks for
gotta
your
go. We have stuff and things to do. Thanks again for doing this, man.
Thanks for your time, bro. I appreciate this a lot. Thanks for the drinks.
All right. See you again. Bye, folks. Bye-bye.